young hamstrings. I was
that long
breaking some tackles. Yeah.
Hey, from your receiver perspective, let's talk the Qs. Who would you rather pay, Sam Darnold or Russell Wilson?
Come on, y'all. I would rather pay Russell Wilson. And I'm going off of the history of the quarterback spot, not 1 year. Russell Wilson, over his career, has been a consistent quarterback. He's a really good thrower of the football. I am taking Russell Wilson. And I cannot sit up here and forget the two biggest games of the year of how Sam Darnold looked.
Thank you.
Against the Detroit Lions, he looked like the old Sam Darnold. Against the Los Angeles Rams, he looked like the old Sam Darnold. I cannot forget that. But what I can remember about Russell Wilson is over his career, he's been a consistent quarterback. And if you ask me who I want to pay, if I'm a GM and I have to give somebody money, I'm taking the more consistent player. Point blank, period, if I'm an organization. So for me, whatever it may be, I think both these dudes should be paid at 20 and under. I don't know what them dudes is making 20 and under, but I think that should be the number. $25 million a year. I don't care nothing about none of the salary caps, whatever that is what they play has earned. Forget talking about that is what they play has earned. I'm sure we can sit up here and we can name 15 quarterbacks right now better than Russell Wilson and Sam Darnold. We can. Pay them accordingly and go win. But for me, it's Russell Wilson, the more consistent dude.
Those are great points.
I try.
Like that was excellent, my man. And you almost made me change my answer, but mine's a little bit more in depth in terms of, because I would pay Sam Darnold only if you're the Minnesota Vikings. I wouldn't pay Sam Darnold if you go outside the KOC realm. Like if you go and the Raiders want to sign you or the Jets want to sign, I think that Sam Darnold has earned his paycheck only with Kevin O'Connell because of what Kevin O'Connell brings from a schematic standpoint, from an offensive coordinator standpoint, and he showed it. Now, I agree. The two most important games of the year, you laid an egg. Bottom line, you still won 14 games. You still threw for 4,400 yards. You still threw for 35 passing touchdowns in that scheme. If I'm Sam Darnold, if I'm the Minnesota Vikings, I go up to $35 million. If it's over $35 million, I'm telling you, bro, that's what I'm hearing, 30 to 35. If it goes above that, I let him walk. I ride with Daniel Jones, which I heard KOC really likes, and the rookie J.J. McCarthy. Now, if it's not Sam Darnold in Minnesota, I'm paying Russ.
$35 million.
That's what he's going to get. I'm paying Russ because...
for 1 year? Like
the year
I think it's a 2-year deal.
It's the year of the bums.
2 years, $70 million?
That's what I'm hearing.
It's the year of the bums.
And quite honestly, that ranks like 20th in terms of quarterbacks. You're the bump. This is why
I said 20.
But if not, it's Russ for me, because if Darnold moves on somewhere, I don't think he can have as much success. I like what Russ has done. We did forget that Russ lost his last 5 games, and I get it's a defense a little bit, but we just don't let that go. I know he's been successful over the year in his career, but if it's not Darnold in Minnesota, I'm paying Russell Wilson.
I'm going Russ. But see, like, you throw that in there, like, hey, don't forget that Russ lost the last 5 games. But can you not forget the last 6 years out of Sam Darnold's career?
I'm looking at the 1 year.
It's a hard time. I have a hard time, seriously, I have a hard time paying a quarterback. Out of his 7 years, 6 of them you were awful.
Yeah.
And we're going to pay you 45,
About the short term.
30. Like, how? That's why the league is like it is right now, where the quarterback just matters more than every other position. Because you got guys that can be awful for their whole career and they have one good year, and then when the game gets really, really tough and we need you to win, you don't. And you look like the old guy we used to. That's what I'm saying. Like, to write that check for Sam Darnold.
The owner, yeah.
After I see we fight for number one seed with the Detroit Lions, you look awful. And then we get in the playoff game, you look like you didn't know what you were doing. And you gonna pay you some money?
Yeah, they are.
Now, if I was a running back or a wide receiver, we would have had this conversation. I'm going with Russ. Russ,
but
for
a running
me,
back and receiver
I
don't impact the
watched
game.
Russ help this team out. I watched Russ help the Steelers out more than a coach helping Russ out, right? You thought that, okay, going to the Steelers team, they had a great defense and great culture. That's all Russ needs to be with to be a winner. Well, he didn't get that. The defense was not good for Russ. And Russ was the only one that actually was putting some points up and balling, okay? I look at Sam Darnold, it was like everything had to work well for him. He had to get a great coach, had to get a really, really great wide receiver core, had to get a really, really great defense. And that still wasn't enough for him. It's crazy, man. It really is. You could just, the league is right now is saying,
hates it.
you can be above average for a long period of time, have an okay year, and now we can pay you because you play a quarterback position.
It's the most important position in all sports.
That's dumb, bro.
Yeah.
That's terrible. How you gonna win like that?
Who y'all think had a better year? Russ. or Sam?
Oh, my God. Sam Darnold. What?
Look at some stats.
James,
What?
who had a better year? Russ or Sam?
14-3? Russ was 6-6 as a starter.
If we're talking about 1 year, I would say Sam Darnold had the better.
Easily.
I can't go by that.
But he's not the better quarterback.
Yeah, of course.
okay.
I'm just curious as to who y'all think had the better.
Yeah, he had the better. He had
He had the first most picks, too, though. Fourth most picks, and then when we need you most, you look like the
12
old Sam Darnold.
interceptions, yeah.
Think about that for a second, though.
Yeah,
He had such a great year, right? All these stats and all this stuff that looks cool. And then when we need you most, you were the weakest guy on the field. Let me take that back for y'all. You had such a good year that we talking about, right?
Yeah.
When we needed you most, you were the worst player on the whole field, on both sides. Yeah. True or false?
True.
Twice. And we talk about how great of a year he had? What?
You can't take away 14 wins from him.
Well, this is what I'm going to give you. If I can't take away, I'm going to give you this. I told you, I said, yo, when you have a really, really good player and he has a bad period of time and he's doing bad, eventually that good player's going to come back. We have a really, really bad player for a long period of time and he has a small little good window, he's doing well. Eventually, the bad player will show up. Hold up. Was I right or wrong?
No, you're right.
Did the bad player show up?
Yeah.
All right.
But I'm just saying, I'm not saying to make him the franchise guy. I'm saying to buy a few times. I'm saying a 2-year deal is nothing. You like McCarthy after the next year, Darnold doesn't play well, then you ride with the rookie.
Kevin O'Connell
$35 million in the whole scheme of things for the Minnesota Vikings to have 14 wins is nothing.
But Kevin O'Connell, you think he's a really good coach,
It's
right?
nothing.
You think he's a good coach,
Great
right?
coach.
He's a great coach.
Great coach.
So, yo, listen, if you could take an
I
average
agree.
player like
Yep.
Sam Darnold's whole career and make him good for a couple good games, right?
probably do it with Daniel
Why you can't do it with a
Jones.
rookie? You get what I'm saying?
Daniel Jones.
And another thing is this, though. I mean, like,
I'm with you on that, 100%.
we're talking about Sam Darnold.
I'm with you on what
Is
you
that the
just
same
said.
guy we talking about?
So really quick though, why are we talking $35 million just because he's up? That's my only thing.
Well, if you
Like
tag him, it's $40 million, 42.
Oh,
Tagging.
No.
He needs a clipboard.
There could be
He
two.
needs a clipboard and a hat.
That's
and he should be
being- it's being talked
and he
about.
should be a backup.
But
That's
all-
what he
That's
is.
disrespectful.
All I'm saying
to be a backup after the year he had.
all I'm saying is this.
14 years, you want him to be,
Really quick,
14 wins, you want to be a back. Hold up. You want to be a backup? That's disrespectful. He had a great year.
You putting him at 2 years than the backup?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm just saying to put him a backup now.
What do you mean?
This is my only thing. If the Minnesota Vikings say, here go 2 years, $40 million, and he turns it down,
He's going to go somewhere else.
who knocking on his door, though?
Right.
Teams that need players, teams that need quarterbacks, and we just said in the top 10. I'm telling you right now, dude. That's just how that works. If you find a quarterback that can give you 14 wins, I'm not even saying an opinion. This is a fact. You see it time and time again in the NFL. If you have a guy, and unfortunately, I don't sometimes agree with it, that shows they can play even remotely decent at the quarterback position because no one else can do it in the world, that guy will get paid right, wrong, and different.
You don't think he's a backup?
No.
You think he's a starter?
He's
I mean,
shown he's a
the
starter.
Raiders need a Q.
Jets.
The Raiders,
Giants
but
need
what I'm
Q.
saying is
The Titans need a
There's
Q.
no one knocking
Jets.
down his door.
No,
dog.
not knocking down, but they're knocking on it.
And
They're
if
knocking
you
on
come
it.
and get him, it's going to be the same thing that happened last year with the Vikings. $10 million, but since he had this year, it might $20 million. That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask you this, James, because you work for the Raiders on weekends. What would you have suggested the Raiders would have paid to get the quarterback play that Sam Darnold gave the Vikings this year? Is that not worth $30 million?
They paid Gardner 15.
What would you suggest?
Well, I think,
Is that
first
not
off,
worth
I
it?
think any coach, if you say, man, you'll get 35 touchdowns and 4,000 plus yards, any coach would say, yeah, here go $30 million for that. But the only thing is the 6 years before that, that's not the Sam Darnold you were getting. That's all I'm saying. Sam Darnold, this is the one of the times to where the quarterback don't have the leverage because you're not like that. All them other times when the quarterbacks, you're young, you're the first round overall pick, all this Trevor Lawrence, the upside and all that. We ain't really talking about Sam Darnold upside and all that type of stuff like he the next best thing.
I think this is the most leverage he's ever had because of how bad he's been for the first 6 years.
Sam has ever had. I'm talking about the organization.
Gotcha.
Sam is. I'm talking
Gotcha.
organization.
Sorry. Gotcha.
You are not an elite quarterback, sir. All right? You came from 6 years of
I
being
don't
really,
disagree
really
with
bad, and we brought you here, and you had this type year. Right? We got $20 million for you. And if not, that's why we signed Daniel Jones, because if we could get it out of you, I'm sure we could get it out of Daniel Jones.
Let me ask you this, because we've seen it dating back years ago, whether it was the Matt Flynn who got pennies, but it was a lot at the time. Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously he got $28 million from the Niners, highest paid quarterback in history. Nick Foles, he did have a great 4-game stretch. Shout out to my roommate. He got $88 million. Blake Bortles, he ends up getting, I believe, $80 or so million after leading Jacksonville. Haven't we seen time and time again one good year?
Baker 40.
Haven't
So
we
wait,
seen time
Baker
and time
40.
again one
But this
good
is my
year?
problem. So all them guys you name, How'd it work out for them dudes?
Not
for
great.
franchise.
Obviously
you
not
get what I'm
good.
saying? So why do we keep making the same mistake though? We keep making the same mistake.
Start off like Sam.
And then another thing with the Sam thing, right? Let's just say what Chase is saying is right. How many wins he get with the Raiders? Because how many wins did he get with the Raiders? If Sam goes to the Raiders, right? And he gets
this
paid,
year or last?
This year, last any year, any year.
That's why I said in my take,
I'm
I don't trust
asking
him with
you, he
anyone
will
but
get the
KOC.
Same as they got this
answer-
year.
I'm
7 or 8.
No, sir.
No, he ain't. No, I don't know what it is with him or nothing like that.
How many wins the Raiders have this year? 4?
4 or 5.
You get 2 more with Sam. That's not that much. Colvin.
Yo, I'm done though. I don't know what it is. Like he's not a good quarterback though, Chase. I think the Ken O'Connell and that defense and the offensive players, the running back, solid offensive line, all the wide receivers helps everything out.
No doubt.
When you put a guy like that that's already average or below average,
How can you
right?
say he's not good after the year he had?
Do you know who Sam Darnold I'm talking about?
Yes.
He's been weak his whole career.
Forget about the-
So how can I don't get this part.
He didn't say he didn't
said
have
Yeah,
a
he had a
good
good year. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't get this how you forget all these other things about everybody else. But it comes to Sam Darnold, out of the 7 years, he has 6 bad ones, and then he had a good year. It's like you forget all that.
I don't forget it. That's why I started my take. If Darnold stays in KOC's scheme, that's where he should be paid. Anywhere else, I would not pay him. That's exactly what I said.
This is why the league is so screwed up, man.
Gotta go to break, James.
It's crazy. It's okay with being weak.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.